Well, hi there, folks. Welcome to the program. This, of course, is Stinchfield, the podcast brought to you by Energized Health, energizedhealth.com/grant. All right, folks. Did you see this? It's one of the most shocking, maybe surprising hearings I've heard at a political level, state house, federal level, whatever you want to call it. The Texas State Senate is taking up a bill to limit sugary drinks and processed foods in our public schools that are paid for by the Texas SNAP program. This is the taxpayer dollars that go towards underprivileged children to pay for their lunches. You would think everybody would say, you know what, we shouldn't have them drinking sodas and eating candy bars, right? Well, lo and behold, who shows up in opposition to the bill? And this is a bill brought by Republicans, the Make America Healthy Again movement. Who shows up in opposition to the bill? The American Heart Association. How in the world is the American Heart Association against a bill like this? I have no idea. Well, I do, and we'll get into that in a second. But just watch this little highlight reel.
I often say that I can never be surprised in this building, but for the American Heart Association to be against this bill.
SB 379 seeks to remove soda, candy, potato and corn chips, and cookies from the list of items eligible for purchase with SNAP.
My name is Alec Puente, and I'm the Director of Government Relations for the American Heart Association. I'm here to testify today in opposition to Senate Bill 379.
I would encourage you to look at what it restricts.
The Heart Association is concerned about potential impacts of this bill on participation and population health. Imposing nutritional restrictions will interfere with the primary function of SNAP, reducing hunger, without reducing root causes of chronic disease.
I'm here because I want to support the children on this program and protect them from the chronic disease that sugar will lead them to develop. I actually advocated for this bill in Arizona and was shocked by the big soda companies sending their own person to come and advocate for the fact that there's no correlation between soda consumption and obesity, which is just a straight up lie.
All right, so the soda companies show up in Arizona. Now you got the American Heart Association. That young lady, by the way, is 19 years old. The other lady before that is Senator Kolker. She is a Texas State Senator. Shocked that the American Heart Association would show up. So what's going on here? I think we all understand that sugar is not good for us. John Jubilee is with us, the founder of EnergizedHealth.com, sponsor of this program, the program that helped me get fit, lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks. And I promise you, lots of sugar was not part of that program. John Jubilee, welcome to the show.
Well, glad to be here, Grant. And look, people see right through this stuff now, Grant, and there's no question, just follow the money, right? Just follow the money. So if you can get Americans, start when they're children, brainwash them, get them addicted. Sugar is just as, if not more addictive than cocaine. It is literally as addictive as cocaine. Get them addicted to the cocaine of sugar. It creates these chronic illnesses. And what does that end up doing later in life? You're going to have a heart attack. You're going to have a stroke. You're going to have diabetes. And that feeds the money machine. It's just that simple.
John, it's amazing. We went and looked at some of the money that the American Heart Association takes in. It's not just Coca-Cola and Pepsi, all right, which plays a big role. You had a number of pharmaceutical companies all donating big sums of money to the American Heart Association. Then they show up at a hearing saying, no, we don't want to limit processed foods and sugary drinks for kids. I then start to question the motivation of the American Heart Association. Is this about money, or is this about really keeping kids healthy? Because I don't think anybody with common sense would think that you're keeping kids healthy by giving them sodas.
Well, absolutely not. And, Donald Trump, he just had a very interesting statistic that he quoted. Just one generation ago, it was 1 in 12,000 of our children were autistic. Now it's 1 in 30. So how do you go from 1 in 12,000 to 1 in 30? Well, all we have to do is look at, what's changed? What's changed, in the nutritional landscape. And so now we have the corn syrups, which are even more intense, than sugar. So sugar is its own challenge for people nutritionally, but the corn syrups and all of that, all you have to do though, Grant, is just follow the money.
Yeah.
But the great news for people is, hey, look, guys, and if you crave sugar, how many of you crave sugar? Raise your hand. Do I crave sugar? If you crave sugar, it is the number one indicator I am dehydrated. So just say it out loud. I crave sugar. I am dehydrated. But the great news is, Grant, if people were hydrated, they wouldn't even crave sugar. They really wouldn't. They wouldn't even be reaching for the candy bar or for the cookie or for that. You know what? They would not crave the sugar. And I listen, I'm saying this as the biggest, I would be at the top of the pyramid of sugar addicts. When I was younger, Grant, I would eat a whole 1 pound bag of M&Ms. I would eat a whole bag of Oreo cookies. I'd eat a box of those Nutty Bars. Krispy Kreme donuts would call my name in the night. I absolutely was a total sugar addict. I'm right there with people that crave sugar, but I didn't know what's the root cause. What is the root cause of why we all crave sugar? We crave sugar because we are dehydrated at the cellular level.
All right, so this is what Energized Health is about, and I'm going to play a clip here in a moment of Senator Colkhurst, who was questioning the American Heart Association, but I want to drill down on this because it got me thinking about something. So I got hydrated at a cellular level, and I told people I lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks. The program was 88 days that I went through, and I lost, I lost my 15 pounds. I kept it off. I'm remaining healthy. I'm remaining hydrated. I feel great. All the benefits, cholesterol down, my testosterone's up, like all these amazing benefits. I'm starting to think, John, you ever think about bringing this breakthrough in science that you guys have now just really harnessed? Would it solve childhood obesity? Could you bring it to the masses, to kids, and get them hydrated? Could inner city kids get hydrated at a cellular level and start beating this epidemic that we have, which really is childhood obesity?
Well, that is the dream. So when Martin Luther King said, I have a dream, Grant, I have a dream. Yeah, I have a dream to be in every public school, and I say this because of cool technology, right? So I want to be a hologram. I want to be a hologram in every public school in America. I want to use hologram technology and show up in every public school and teach these kids. It doesn't matter if they're an inner city kid, if they're a suburban kid, wherever they are, to learn these simple principles, these simple truths. How do we get hydrated at the cellular level as children, stay hydrated, and don't go on the same paths, stop the insanity of what's happening with all these chronic diseases. And I'm going to tie something else in here. So you got the American Heart Association, and again, just follow the money. Look at the American Cancer Society. The only nutrient to a cancer cell is sugar. It's the only nutrient. It's the only thing that can feed a cancer cell.
Wow.
It's impossible for a cancer cell to live inside a human body without the nutrient of sugar to feed it. And stay with me here. This is shocking.
Okay.
But you can go look it up. They'll give people a chemo treatment for cancer, and then they give them these white bags of IVs. They feed them a white IV bag with about 300 grams of sugar. 300 grams of sugar in the IV bag. So they're radiating the cancer to kill the cancer, and then they're immediately after giving someone an IV bag to feed the cancer. So pretty much the cycle is people will spend all of their money they have getting cancer treatments, then they will mortgage their home, then they will lose their home, then they will go bankrupt. And the cycle is 1 to 5 years. They'll deal with the cancer. They'll still die, but they'll die bankrupt.
Wow.
Because the money machine has sucked them dry of every penny it can. And again, does go back. What's the root cause? It's you're feeding it with the sugar but why? Because we're dehydrated, we're craving that sugar.
You know, it's interesting. The 19-year-old girl that you saw in that that initial preview, she has a documentary she made on sugar and cancer that talks a lot about what you're talking about here. And there's a lot of talk out there about how nobody really wants to cure cancer because of the amount of money that is involved in it, John.
Oh, well, Grant, again, let's follow the money. You know, this would be a fun, little side project for someone to do, is go see how much money in the last 40 years has been donated to the American Cancer Society. So, we donated money to NASA, and we were able to, with a finite amount of dollars, we invested in engineers and scientists and mathematicians, and we, sent people to the moon, because you could take the money and figure out, well, how do you put a rocket and land it on the moon and fly it back home? And Elon Musk figured out how to shoot a rocket in space and land the thing with a finite amount of dollars. I'll bet you more dollars has been donated for cancer, but we just can't figure that one out.
Yeah.
So what's that all about? How come we can't figure that out with all of the billions and billions of dollars that we've spent? Because they don't want to figure it out, Grant. It's a money machine.
Yeah, I've been questioning that very, very same thing. I mean, we know the answer to it. The money machine is it. Here's one for you, John. I got a comment in the Rumble chat. This is from 1443431. That's the name. I don't know. That's some screen name on a Rumble chat. But it says here, I grew up on Kool-Aid, 1 gallon at a time. Corn-fed genetics got me through. Now, I would push back on this guy or gal who wrote this, that when I grew up, John, I too ate a ton of junk food. I was doing ho-hos and I would go, just potato chips. But things are different today. It's not the same junk food that we were eating when I'm 56 years old, when I was 12 and 13 years old. Food today has completely changed. So I would push back on this guy that he was drinking Kool-Aid. Yeah, fine. When I don't know how old or young he is, but I would push back on this notion that what we did as kids is the same thing now because the food has changed.
Well, it's this simple, Grant, and you're right. It has changed. And all you have to do is look at the number of ingredients. Like, forget the ingredients for a minute. Forget the ingredients. When we grew up, a junk food maybe had 4 or 5 ingredients in it. Today, a junk food has 18 or 19 ingredients in it. Well, why are they putting all that extra stuff in there? So there's more toxins, there's more clog, there's more thing clogging our arteries and our systems of how God designed us to live. Yeah, our junk food was not the same as the junk food today. No, there's like 15 extra things in there that are all toxic chemicals going into our body. It's completely different.
I would bet the sugar has increased. I would bet the processed foods has increased. I would bet the chemicals and dyes have all increased. All of this craziness. And that I also believe leads to not just the obesity, but the disease, the autism, all of these things that we're seeing. It's not a coincidence that all of a sudden this is just happening now. It couldn't be. Hey, before I play this clip of the senator, John, why don't you tell me about Energized Health and what this does for people? Because you really get away from all of this stuff. Now, I always say you don't have to give up tons of foods. You just have to change the way you eat them a little bit. And that this is not about crazy diets or crazy workouts. But why don't you tell people a little bit about Energized Health and how it can help them?
Yeah, well, the biggest difference, Grant, is we know how to put this water inside of a cell. So when people say, well, what makes you guys different, than, any other health protocol or weight loss program or all those things, this is a breakthrough patent pending science. So, pretty much, guys, your cells are like this. They're like a hard glass marble. And even when you try to drink more water, which everyone's trying to drink more water, it's just bouncing off like this. It's bouncing off. You try to take a good healthy supplement or vitamin, it's just bouncing off like this. And our science does this. It opens your cell up. And when your cell opens up, now that healthy nutrition and hydration can actually get inside the cell. And so that's the difference. Once you have your intercellular hydration, you lose the craving. You really will. You'll lose the craving for your sugar. I'm happy to tell you. By the way, it's not that sugar doesn't taste good. Of course it tastes good. That's why people want it, right? So, but the great news is you will never crave it. You'll never crave it. And Grant, I don't think people should never eat sugar. I think they should get hydrated at the cellular level. And then if they choose to eat sugar in moderation, you can eat sugar in moderation. When you're healthy at the cellular level and you have lean muscle mass, a little bit of sugar, your body will just pull that into your lean, healthy muscle, turn it into glucose and glycogen, and it will be fine. That's why when we were little kids, guess what? Yeah, you could drink the Kool-Aid.
So I'm okay. Last night, then you're telling me my son's on spring break. We went to dinner, had a nice meal, and he says, "Hey, Dad, let's go get some Nancy Pelosi ice cream." So, do you know what Nancy Pelosi ice cream is for us? It's that Jenny's ice cream. Have you ever had Jenny's ice cream? I'm sure they're wild liberals. I'm sure they're crazy, but this is when COVID was going on. This stuff is so expensive. It's like $20 for a little tiny quart of ice cream when Nancy Pelosi pulls open her freezer, and there's like 62 quarts of this $20 ice cream per quart. Anyway, they have a storefront. And so I went last night. I had a scoop in a little cone. I didn't go crazy, but I had my scoop, and I didn't feel bad about it because thanks to you helped me get hydrated at a cellular level. I've maintained that, and it's not going to kill me, and I don't feel bad. Am I right?
No, you're 100% right. And by the way, I'm a big ice cream guy. I love ice cream. I love that. There's a special kind of it's Argentinian. It's these Argentinians have an ice cream place, and I take my kids there all the time. And but again, I'd have the one scoop. I have my one scoop of ice cream, and my favorite vegetable is carrot cake. So I love my carrot cake. And, but I eat it in moderation. But you can eat sugar in moderation when you have intercellular hydration. And Grant, for people that haven't seen us before together, I just realized I just came back from speaking at a large event, and on a big stage, and it was so. I just have to share a fun story, which you'll get a kick out of, because you've always kept yourself in great shape, and but I gave this big this talk about intercellular hydration and being healthy at the cellular level, and so this one gentleman, he comes up to me afterwards. He goes, basically, it's like you had me at hello. He said, when you walked up there and said, you're going to turn 65 years old in September, I said, take my money, take my money. He said, what in the world? And he said, then when you shared, what you could do in the gym, he said, take my money right now. And then when you said carrot cake is your favorite vegetable, he said, I want to run up there and give you my money, like right now. And I want to encourage people that, God wants you to have a full, vibrant life. But something came up there, Grant, which you'll appreciate because, you're a guy that takes care of himself. Everybody that's been told you can't be healthy as you age, or you're going to have to lift less weight as you age. So many men came up to me, Grant, and said, that really inspired me that you keep lifting heavier weight every year into your 60s. I'll be 65 in September. And, and again, I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying it to encourage, inspire people. Everybody say my story, let this be your story that you get stronger as you get older. I just set the world record last year, for chest press. But I couldn't do that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Like I keep getting stronger. And so we've been taught these myths. And again, I just want to lock this in for everybody, to make sure they know we're not saying don't eat sugar. We're saying get hydrated. So you're like a river of living water running through your body. And then when you put a moderate amount of sugar in your body, when you choose to enjoy it, but not crave it, you're not addicted, you don't crave it, you eat it because you enjoy it, it's just going to flow right through your body. You're not going to gain any fat. you're not going to have any chronic illness or disease.
I would urge people to go to the website, which is energizedhealth.com/grant. Learn about intercellular hydration. There's a master class there that you can go through for free. And I promise you, when you see the testimonials from people, including testimonials from me, you guys know, I always tell you, I have a number of sponsors for this podcast. Every single one of them, I either use their product, take their product, or buy their product, whether it's an investment or whatever it might be. But I do it all, and they're still with me, and that there's a reason for that. Because one, it works. Two, I'm sincere about it. Three, you know that when I tell you something, you can trust it, that I've used it and believe in it. And so energizedhealth.com/grant. I'm telling you, you can turn your life around. Whether you got to lose 200-300 pounds. I know there are people out there, maybe you're one of them, that have to do that. Energized Health can help you without the medications, without eating your muscles away. That's the worst thing you can do. Or maybe you're like me and you just wanted to lose 10-15 pounds and really tone it up. I was in pretty good shape to start, and I did that. And it's all with the Energized Health system. Energizedhealth.com/grant. Energizedhealth.com/grant. I'll tell you this, John, yesterday, my son's on spring break. We went to the gym. I was playing basketball. Now, I played high school basketball. I played college football, and I was a pretty good little hooper. But I haven't really played a lot because I'm always worried about getting injuries with these young guys, right? Anywhere from 18 years old to, 37 years old. And here I am at 56. Well, I was playing with them pretty darn well yesterday. And for the first time in my life, you'll probably be disappointed with me when I tell you this. I use the old guy excuse on the young guys. So I drive across the lane and a guy goes to block the shot, and I put my hand up and I push his hand down and I lay the ball up into the basket. And they're like, foul. I'm like, no foul. I'm 20 years older than you. I got to do something. And you know what they said? Okay. That was the first time in my life I used the old guy excuse. And in one respect, I was a little upset about it. But in the other, I was like, oh, this kind of works. I'm going to take advantage of it.
I love that.
So,
hey, well, that's awesome, Grant. That's awesome.
Yeah, you're 9 years older than me, and you don't look it at all. So that should be a tribute to Energized Health as well. All right, I promised you I would play you this senator who was the one that was confronting the American Heart Association for pushing back against a bill that's going to take sugary drinks and snacks and candy bars out of public schools with taxpayer funds. She was shocked. She responded to being shocked about this. I'll play it and then I'll get your response.
I could hardly believe it yesterday, Dagan. I asked him, are you sure you're testifying against this bill that actually adds to more chronic disease, makes more of our children obese? I gave them a chance to change their position on the bill, and they did not. And I just was astonished that the American Heart Association was against our SNAP reform bill that would just say you can't have sugary drinks, you can't chips, cookies, those kind of candy. Just that's limiting that and pushing people more to protein density rich foods. Why would the American Heart Association be against that when obesity is almost a pandemic among our young children?
You know what's amazing is as I'm listening to her talk, this is a Texas state senator. They've got this bill. We heard about the bills up in Arizona. Similar. Why do we even need a bill for this? Who is the administrator in a school who thinks it's a good idea putting sodas and cookies in schools? Why do we need legislation? Like anybody with common sense, John, should say, you know what, we don't need that in our schools. How do we get to this point?
No, it's astonishing. Yeah, when you think about it, how did anyone in the government ever approve, on a SNAP program, and the old school people, it's food stamps. If you guys don't know what SNAP is, it's food stamps. So food stamps, SNAP, how did anyone ever approve? That's like saying you might as well put beer on there too. You might as well put beer and whiskey and wine and no, let's just let them buy anything with our government money, anything that'll make them sicker and take them, down the rabbit hole of detrimental health. It's insane. And of course, thank God for Donald Trump and Elon Musk, uncovering all of these scandals that none of us knew have been going on right under our nose, basically for our whole lifetime, right? This has been going on for our whole lifetime, Grant.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump truly, when he was president the first time, he said he wanted to drain the swamp, but obviously they all came against him so hard he didn't have a chance to do it. But this time he came in with guns blazing.
Yeah.
He came in there with guns blazing, and he is draining the swamp. And this is part of it. So part of it is, maybe it's going to take a presidential, he's going to have to do another presidential order and just an executive order and just say, hey, no, you cannot buy crap. You cannot buy junk and stick it in your body with government money. Like, no, we will not be a party to destroying the life and the health of our children.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. Hey, before I let you go, I know you had your big My 555 challenge, this 5 days, $5, 5 pounds. I know that's past now, but you had so many people sign up for this. I just wondered if you had a little update for me, how it went, and tell the people about Energized Health before I let you go.
Yeah. No, so I'm thrilled to tell you. Yeah, very successful. Those are always so fun for us, Grant, because everybody can get in on that for an easy, that's an easy entry point. And we get to spend 5 days with people. And so you can always, join one of those in the future. We're probably going to start having one of those a month, by the way. So just a heads up. But come and follow us, come and follow us at Energized Health. We have an Instagram. Chelsea and I both have one personally, John Jubilee and Chelsea Jubilee. Just follow us to stay updated with our information. But Grant, those are just so joyful. It gives people real hope, for something that's real. And in the meantime, like Grant said, though, you can go to the website, guys, and just spend some time. Go look at testimonials, and our testimonials, click on your story. You say, well, is my story on there? Yes, I promise you, your story is at energizedhealth.com. Click testimonials, and by category, you can go by your age or whatever you're struggling with. Maybe you have joint pain or diverticulitis or IBS or an autoimmune disorder. Whatever you have, you can click by category, and you will see your story 20 times. Of people just like you that thought there was no hope, but they found hope at Energized Health. Because guys, 28 years now, 28 years. Grant, that we just had our 28th anniversary of helping people reverse illness, reverse disease. Just so happens a side effect is you do lose fat faster than anything. It's not a weight loss program, by the way. It's a cellular health program. It just so happens because we care about how you feel, not how you look. So we want you to feel amazing, but the side effect is you do happen to look amazing as well.
What's the success rate again?
It's 99.1.
Amazing.
It's 99.1. And people always ask us, Grant, well, who's that 0.09% that fail? And those are just the people that don't do it. They're what I call the sweet, lazy slugs.
Yeah.
So if you're a sweet, lazy slug and you're not willing to do anything for yourself, then you can watch everybody else succeed. You can just be a spectator and you can watch all their amazing success. But if you're willing to just do a few simple things, and Grant, you told him it's simple, right?
Yeah,
Everybody can do it.
It was very simple. I'm telling you, anybody could do it. It was more simple than I even expected it was going to be. And I had such great results with it. And I know, look, the tribute is in the sheer number of testimonials. Folks, that you've seen programs, what they call diet programs, lifestyle programs, and they got a few testimonials. The sheer number of testimonials really tells the story of how many people you have helped. I know that you can help Stinchfield's Army for people that want to get their life back. And so I'm grateful for your sponsorship of this program. You're instrumental in keeping this voice going. And John, and I don't ever really thank you for this, but it is a commitment. You sponsor a show like this. It's a commitment to keeping my voice alive on programs like this. The other sponsors, too, committed to the message that I push normally on a daily basis. And I'm grateful for that because it's an important message that we push here every day. So a giant thank you for that.
Hey, well, I'm honored to lock arms with you, Grant. You're a true patriot, and you are a voice that America needs to hear, brother. So I'm honored to be on the journey with you.
Well, you're awful kind, and the feeling is certainly mutual. Let me tell people again where they can go. Again, folks, it's energizedhealth.com/Grant. Check out the testimonials. As I said, as John said, 99.1% success rate. That's like unheard of in the industry. And they got the stats to back it up. I'm one of them. And I love his line that it's not about losing weight. It's about feeling healthy, right? Because you gain muscle mass. Muscle often weighs more than fat does, but you lose fat. How great is that? Gain muscle, lose fat, lose all that fat around your organs, that gross visceral fat. You're going to be better off for this program. It worked for me. I know it will work for you. Go to energizedhealth.com/Grant. That's energizedhealth.com/Grant. Don't forget, you can find me at Stinchfield1776. We're going to talk a little bit about this tonight on the Real America's Voice show. We're going to talk about the budget battle, and President Trump is giving a speech at the Department of Justice about public safety. It'll be interesting to hear what he has to say there after all the shakeups at the DOJ. So we'll have highlights of that tonight on the Real America's Voice show, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stinchfield's Army rolls. See you tonight.
It's too late.